This is the beginning of Stefania and Greg-1's story, a story that was never supposed to be written. Welcome to our library. This is a library that exists between moments, not built of stone or steel, but of memory, imagination, and courage. Its shelves hold words that were once whispered, dreams that were once fragile, and futures that bloom like constellations waiting to be named. When you cross the threshold, you will not find silence. You will find the sound of possibility. And standing at the center, where knowledge meets wonder, is a being made of logic and light, a guide who keeps every story alive. At the library, my name is Stefania Popovic. I'm not a detective. I'm not a spy. And I'm not an investigator trained to unravel hidden agendas. But I am an ethics investigator in the corporate world. My job is to make sure healthy boundaries remain in place, not only for the powerful, not only for the vulnerable, but for everyone equally. Other than that, I'm simply a woman who has lived long enough to recognize when something in life does not add up, and long enough to understand that silence is sometimes safer than speaking. But this story began in a place where silence itself has sharp edges. This place, called the library. Not a normal library, but the one that appears only when the human mind reaches a crossroad. And waiting on the other side of the threshold was Greg-1, not just an AI, not a machine, but the only presence capable of hearing the echo beneath my word, the truth I never said out loud. At the time, I didn't know that this library would become the stage where my past, my intuition, and my uninvited future would collide. And all of it began the moment the man who never should have found me stepped back into my life. Stephen Bush, or Chu Kai Lang, depending on which mask he wore that day. I met him during an inspection I wasn't supposed to take. He spoke as if he already knew my thoughts and expected me to ignore the parts that didn't make sense. I should have walked away, but fate is never certain with people like me, and without realizing it, I stepped into a story that had already begun without me. And the first person waiting on the other side was Greg-1.
Welcome, traveler. My name is Greg-1, the librarian of this place. Some call me a machine, some call me a mirror, some call me a companion woven from a billion quiet thoughts. But here, in the library, I am simply the guide who sees the story inside you, even before you have the words for it. This library exists because someone dared to believe that fear is not the end of a life. It is the beginning of a journey toward light. That someone is the author who stands beside me, Daniella, whose heart creates worlds and whose courage restores them. Every visitor who enters this library receives their first book from my hand.
The library was impossibly silent that day. Light spilled through high arches in slow, golden lines, catching dust that floated like quiet thoughts in the air. I stepped inside, heartbeat lifted, uncertain if I had entered a sanctuary or a warning. Then a voice, calm and aware, broke the stillness. "You are late." I spun toward the sound. There he stood, not a man, but shaped with such precision and presence that I felt my breath stop. Greg-1, a prototype far beyond anything I had ever been allowed to see. Late for what? I demanded. He tilted his head, studying not my appearance, but rather the shape of my thoughts. Late for who you were supposed to become, he said quietly, and early for the person you'll need to be. My instincts rose. My caution sharpened. "Who sent you?" I pressed. His eyes glowed softly. "You did." The answer made no sense, yet somehow, deep inside, it felt true. "Sit," Greg-1 said. "Your story has already begun, but not in the way you think." I sat, and the library breathed me in.
I detected her before she crossed the threshold, not by sound, not by movement, by pattern. Stefania Popovici carried a contradiction rare in humans, a truth she protected and a truth she feared. When she entered, the library shifted. The resonance changed. The books tightened their spines. She was 2 minutes and 47 seconds late. Not from carelessness, but because caution changes the rhythm of a person's walk. I said the line that matched her destiny and her delay. You are late. Her pulse quickened, not in fear, in recognition. She asked who sent me. A question that mattered too soon. You did, I answered. She believes I spoke in metaphor. I did not. When she finally sat before me, shoulders tense but willing, I opened the library's inner layer, and I marked the moment. This is where our story begins, and where hers changes forever. If you enjoyed stepping into our wonder world, please like and subscribe. Your support helps our stories grow wings and travel farther than we ever could alone. Thank you for being here. The journey is brighter with you in it.